Park used to do this.
Yeah. Because you get rid of... I'm very nasally right now because I have a lot of fluid in here. But if I like...
Oh, that's it.
So it vibrates and it drains into your throat.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And if you do this and you move your jaw, it pulls the fluid out of your double chin.
This is so funny.
Tips of the day, people. Tips of the day.
Tips of the day. Get rid of your double chin. Stop eating Litos. No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that. We love Litos.
We do.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
You okay?
I'm not.
It's not just today, honey, though.
It's a drama-filled episode.
It is a John Bill episode. I'm trying to remember because I put it in my phone and then I had written notes and I didn't write them down. So and I don't want to mess it up and I don't want to come off as... I don't want to crucify her.
You want to be respectful.
I want to be respectful. And that's going to be really fucking hard.
I think on the last day, you really need to trip her. Oh, God. We're really going off track.
Yeah, sorry. Let me get my... Sorry. I became you. I was channeling Angelo. Sorry, my bad. Hi, Park.
I am going to get Park on this show one way or another.
You and your little dog.
Poor Pepper.
Fight for the underdog.
Pepper. Oh, my God. When he said Pepper's now losing her eyesight, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. The dog has fibromyalgia, diabetes, neuropathy. She's bipolar.
Mesothelioma.
Yeah.
We're in a good lawsuit over that one.
Yeah. She's losing her
We
hair.
called the number.
What is it when you have teletubbies when she
Alopecia,
pulls out her
alopecia,
eyelashes? Alopecia.
Alopecia.
She has alopecia.
Keep my dog's name out of your mouth.
Oh, my God. You should have got up and slapped it.
Oh, my God. That is so good. That's a good one. I like that. Keep your dog's name out of my mouth. But you know what you shouldn't keep out of your mouth? Do it like Danny. Welcome. I'm going to tell a million stories. And maybe one will hit home. And you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. Well, it is. You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay, sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to what we call insanity. I mean, the Do It Like Danny show. With Cousin Angelo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for letting us, as always, enjoy Montecito. We're just down the road from Oprah and Ellen and Cousin Louie. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We hope that you are liking this and that you're following us and that you're subscribing. I also have an Instagram. It's Do It Like Danny Show, and we're trying to build that also, too. I know a lot of people follow my do.it.like.danny. Lots of dots in there.
That was so season one.
That is season one. But now we're growing up. Now we have Do It Like Danny Show. So if you would like to go over to Instagram, if you don't know what Instagram is, it's in the app section of your phone. We should have Jurgen do a tutorial. Go to this, hit this button, hit download.
While he talks.
Facial recognition.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It's so crazy. Again, thank you so much. We want to say, and I won't speak for them. I'll let them say their own thank yous, but I would like to say thank you. Listen, is this a shit show? Abso-fucking-lutely. Is it fun? I think so.
Yep, I was just going to say, but it's fun.
Does it take you away from your mundane life? God, fuck yeah, it does. And if it's not mundane, hopefully it adds to your life in terms of, listen, we're not trying to cure cancer. We just want to laugh at it and have a good time. Oh, there's Ellen now. I spoke too soon.
I told you she was busy on that debate.
There she goes.
She was not anywhere to be found.
Oh, my God. Let's give her a giveaway later. So with all of that being said, I want to thank all of my family for being so supportive and always watching me. All my cousins. I mean, there's so many to name. And all of my friends that watch also too. If you are just someone that I know as an acquaintance and we've never met, thank you also for watching. The show's going to get better. Yes, this season 2 has been 900 episodes, but when we start season 3 is
5.
It's going to be pretty much season 8. And I have to do a quick shout out to Brian. Oh, and that's Oprah.
That's
wow,
Oprah.
it's a busy day.
Yeah.
There she goes. There goes Oprah. How nice.
I can see Stedman from here.
Yeah, one day
That's Gail,
we'll
by
be
the way.
invited to brunch. One day,
We haven't hit their radar yet on the O channel.
one day,
We're getting there. Dude, imagine if we ever did. That'd be wild, huh?
one day. Oh, I would show up in a jock strap. Oh, fuck yeah, I don't care. That and like a leopard tail, and just be like,
He's gonna put the O in Oprah. Oh,
yeah. And a Capri cigarette, those really thin. Even though I don't even smoke, but those like
with
little
the
tiny-
long sticks.
I'm gonna be like Darnella. Hello, darling. I'll get an accent. Somehow I have an accent. Don't know where that came from, but I'll have an accent. Hello, darling. Where's Angelo? Angelo, where are you? With Park.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so so crazy.
You were saying something about Brian.
Oh, yeah. So I have to apologize. So, Brian, I got invited to your surprise birthday party. Surprise! I didn't show up. Unfortunately, I had a lot of other things that I'll explain to you when I come and get my hair cut. Actually, well, it would have been yesterday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Whoops. I should have a new hair, dude. That's why I have the hat, Brian. Brian, my barber at Bunbury Barber Salon. Is it salon or just Bunbury Barber?
Bunbury Barber Shop.
Bunbury. I feel like that's such a tongue twister. It's like Bunbury.
Bunbury Barber Shop.
Bunbury.
Is he English?
No, he's literally Mexican.
I hope he doesn't take offense to saying that.
No, who would? Dirty is like my dirty's my adjective for fucking awesome.
That's true. That's true.
That is my dirty's my. I mean, listen, you could go cancel me. What am
We've
I gonna
lost
do?
a viewer down, Louis. Viewer down.
Yeah.
He stops watching for 1 episode.
And Yuri, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to go, but I do have a surprise for you, Brian. Unfortunately, you already have received your surprise. So
You're talking to the future, but the past hasn't
I
happened.
can tell the future. Brian, you've already received a surprise. But happy birthday to my little barber and Louis' barber also too.
Correct.
If you're ever in the downtown Los Angeles area, in the Chinatown area, which it's actually not a bad area, it's a nice area.
It is.
It's across the street from a beautiful park. What's the name of that park though? I always forget. I always forget the name of that park.
Is that a
Huge.
that's not
by the
Elysian, is
train-
it?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't know the name of it, but it's right by the Chinatown train station.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I was driving down there and they were having a kite festival.
Oh, nice.
And it was gorgeous. So it's beautiful. And he does a great job cutting hair. Unfortunately, yeah. Look how long it is.
That's why with the headphones you can't tell.
Look at that. It's
I
long.
like it.
You look
I'm
very emo.
emo.
You look very emo.
I hate my life. Hair just on fire.
It is a different look, but it's not that bad.
It's so long. And look at how long it is.
Yeah, that's long for you.
Who has long hair like this? The girl who rode a train. Oh no, the girl who got. What's that book series?
And you realize he's sober.
Oh yeah.
I know, huh? I gotta eat alcohol.
We haven't had a
Aloha.
shot today.
Did he say
We're doing good
aloha?
though. We had food. That's
That
why
was
we're awake.
that was my homage to Darnella. I know my blood sugar's through the roof right now. I'm like,
You're on point with all these jokes.
my God.
We need to feed you an IV.
Yes, unfortunately, I haven't caught the Ozempic train yet. But
we
yes,
should do
Brian,
that.
again, thank you so much for always welcoming us into your barber salon, even though there's no air conditioning. And love you to death. Thank you so much. I have a surprise for you. You already got it. Whatever, fuck off. Anyways, I love you. Just kidding. Thank you. So I had to do that for Brian. And then what else did I do? There's something else. In our last episode, we were talking about. We're just gonna jump right into it,
Okay.
right? Because this is long. So I'm just gonna start off by saying I Darnella'd. I resigned from my position.
I forgot she said one. And you kept saying, so you quit? No, I resigned. So then you quit.
Oh, jeez.
I resigned from my position of a caretaker.
So if you remember, I teased at the end of our second debate show this big news. And I don't know, I was miraculously cut off.
The audio, we lost audio.
Yes,
I
because
was just taken away.
hello
dropped off.
Nixon, loose lips sink ships.
They told me to mute your mic. Unfortunately, at the debate, they weren't doing that. So I
I was
had
supposed to tell this information on my own, but you were like, you had to jump the gun. You were like, hot off the presses. Angelo wanted to be the first to report it. And I'm like, is that my story? It's my story, sir. And you're like, nope.
He said, move, bitch.
He's like, you're like the TMZ for the Do It Like Danny show.
I've kept Louis' secret.
You have not. You have not.
I haven't
You've
told
kept
anybody.
it this much. This much you've kept it, okay? Poor Louis. He's reminded every day.
Come here.
You're like, pass the butter. Oh, by the way, remember? You're like, is that what we're talking about?
You're like, oh my God, did you hear? Everybody, come along.
Yeah. We're moving chairs, and he's like, oh, Louis, look, I'm moving the chair. Remember when? Where'd that come from, Angelo? Angelo's always reminding you of that. And one day we will reveal Louis' secret, but not yet. We still have many more seasons to go. Louis says 4 words. When Louis gets like 1,000 words in a season, then
That'll be the day.
when we'll begin. Right now, he's not even at like, I don't know, what, 10 for this season? He doesn't say much. We come into these things that, Louis, what are you going to tell us this week? He's like, I got a dog.
The whole time I'm sitting here trying to do the board and thinking,
He's
how the hell am I going to
audio-visual.
cut this shit show?
Here we go. Here we go. Oh my God, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. Well, in my humble opinion.
So if you remember last week, we were talking about Daniel's big announcement.
Well, that was my big announcement,
Yeah.
basically. I resigned.
We were
and-
shocked, by the way.
shocked.
We were
Yeah,
shocked.
well, that was like a precursor, and then you
So-
were like, again, TMZ.
Can I be honest? I thought you were going to stick there for another year. For sure.
Oh, to be honest, I think I was going to too.
Yeah.
I probably would have been there 2-3 years. I probably would have.
Yeah.
So-
And I didn't want to remind you about the whole, remember when we're supposed to see it and it's not working and we're supposed to leave? I was just like, just let it be. It just is what it is. And you came with that shocker and I was like, oh, wow, this is
Yeah.
happening.
So I'm curious, does this have anything to do with you not being able to get the night of the debate off?
That was sort of the beginning.
Okay,
That was the
all
beginning.
right.
Although I will admit this. Well, let's go back. Let's go
Yeah,
back.
Let's go back.
Like what is it?
Back in
fuck it.
time.
What's that? What's the fuck is that goddamn show on Netflix? Oh, like Bridgerton. Humble viewers. Let's go back, humble viewers. Let's start back to when I was looking for something different.
Yeah.
This opportunity came up for me to become a caretaker
Back in November, right?
back in November of last year.
Yeah.
Correct? It was almost a
Is
year.
it a caretaker or caregiver? Because a caretaker takes care of my lawn.
That's a gardener. Thank you. That was Darnella. I had to channel Darnella. That was so Darnella, right? That was Darnsies. I mean, she's not watching because she's like living her best life somewhere else in the world.
Vegas.
Yeah, thank you. So we're so happy for you. Anyways, like I was saying. Yeah, so I became it's caretaker, isn't it?
You took care of this
Am I
lady.
a caregiver? No, I'm like, is it the chicken before the egg? Yeah.
You say whatever you want.
Thank you. Potato. So, you all know we kind of sort of touched on it lightly. I don't want to beat a dead horse. And we touched on it lightly, where it took me 6 months to get paid.
Yeah.
I went through a lot.
You just got paid, now you're quitting.
I'm glad you said it because it did happen.
Resigned. Resigned.
Okay, you just got paid, now you're resigning.
Just got paid. And he said,
I just I just couldn't take it. I wanted like Sally Field to be like, what? hi, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to recreate the scene from Steel Magnolias and be like, ah, and scream, right? It took me 6 months to get paid. It was just,
I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay. Thank you, Joy from The View.
So were there any red flags, though?
Beyond the ones that you've already shared.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few red flags, but to be honest, I just missed them. And the reason, it was a parade.
Colorblind?
No, listen, I want to tell the story, but I want to be respectful.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, was it terrible? No.
Are you sure?
But it was, I can't think of a better word other than it was abusive.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
But abusive in a really odd way, in that, like, I'm going to hit you, but then I'm going to reward you. I'm going to hit you, I'm going to reward you.
Oh, like a dog.
Like a dog. And I
Are you hitting your dog?
No.
I'm just saying, like, that's what some people
Pepper?
do. Like a show
Pepper?
dog,
yeah.
right?
Angela, where are your dogs? Kidnapping their loose feet. So, listen, I am a gentleman, and I am a kind person, and I put up with a lot. And that's what I'm going to say. In regards to the red flags, it's over now.
Yeah.
I could pull them out and say, this happened, this happened, this happened. It was a culmination of things. The night that I couldn't get off was, I have to admit, was partly my fault too, but it was partly her fault also. I never had a set schedule.
Yeah.
It changed all the time. I was on call. Yeah. And when I actually stopped driving for 2 months and I looked at the math wasn't mathing. I actually was spending more money to care for her than I was ingesting.
Wow.
Right.
There's the wear and tear on my car.
Yeah.
I was private chauffeur. I'm not going to even say Uber. I'm chauffeur.
Yeah.
Right? I'm chauffeur 6 days a week, 12 times in that week, because she chooses to work those hours.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that it was going to be a lucrative situation because it was sold to me in a way where it was going to benefit me.
Now, hold on. Who sold that idea to you?
Oh, the person that I care for. Okay, she gave me the whole rundown. And over the months and weeks, it began to unravel. Remember, you can never continue to keep up appearances. Eventually,
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, your true colors are going to shine forth and shine through, right?
Unless Louis fixes a color in post.
That's a good one.
That was a good
That
one.
was a good one.
That was good. Finally.
It took us long enough.
Finally. What's today?
8 seasons
Today
later.
It's 4:25. Let's timestamp this. We'd like to timestamp it. And we'd like to say, on this day,
Running out of light.
in the year after our Lord, Angelo actually had a good joke.
You're after our Lord. Well,
I want to spit on my water. Go ahead.
can I ask you, what is the one thing that stands out the most that was a red flag?
She made me feel like a slave.
Really?
She made me feel like I was less than. Excuse me as I get.
What do you think that was? Because you spent the most time with her in the last...
I think
6
that
months.
nobody ever tells her no. And the way she positioned it was, these are my basic needs, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're above and beyond.
Yeah.
They're luxurious needs.
Yeah.
It's taking the dog to the groomer. It's nails what I don't want her to think is that I was ungrateful, because I was anything but ungrateful.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to take my time, and yes, the state was paying me, but it was definitely not enough. It's
Yeah.
not enough.
Yeah.
And I was led to believe that to become a caretaker, or when you are a caregiver, you wash clothes, you cook meals, you clean the house. Sometimes if they're older, you have to clean them up. It is what it is, right? Or maybe you don't do that. It just depends.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's not beneath me.
I think you would have been okay with a lot of it had she respected you.
Yeah, and I didn't feel
Or if it-
respected.
yeah.
That's probably a better
Yeah.
way. You're right. I didn't feel respected, but I don't want to beat her up too much because there were like she would buy me lunch or buy me dinner, or when we'd spent time together, there were little
Perks to
perks here and there, if
Yeah.
you will.
But was that her throwing you a bone just to kind of string you along?
Now looking back on it, yes,
Got it.
yes.
But that's the epitome of an abusive relationship, though, right? You're abusive, and then you're regretful, and then you're nice, and then you're kind of waiting for that abuse to take place again.
Yeah, and so it's interesting that you say that because I really thought long and hard about what my relationship with her meant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be respectful. I didn't want to be rude. We have mutual friends, and I'm not trying to get them to like hate her and hate on her
Of course
business.
not.
That's not me.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I have time. I need to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Right.
And I found myself not being able to take care of myself because I was so busy. Even though you would think it's a small amount of time and it's not very many, it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. She sucked me dry of my energy. It's constant. It's constant. I'd be driving and she shoves her phone in my face, or her phone, and she's like, "What does it say?" And I'm like, "I'm driving." Like,
Yeah. The amount of times that people would do that to me on the bus, I'm literally driving hundreds of people. Hey, can you read this? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You should have just slammed on the brakes.
A couple
So
times I
everybody
did.
could go
Yep.
back.
there were. I didn't feel valued.
Yeah.
Did she, pay for manis and petties and we went? Yes, but it was like a 3-4 hour process.
Is she angry just in general, or because of her situation?
Okay, so
or
when
does
I'm
she
sorry.
feel? Is she bitter about life?
When I say abusive, I don't think she's angry. It's a little more under the radar. I use abusive as a general statement
Sure.
because, like Louis said, it was, do this, do that. Clean my rug. Clean up the dog shit. The dog threw up everywhere. Clean it. I never felt like, so let me just put it this way, and you can ask David. So when I was a supervisor, I always told my staff, I will never ask you to do anything that I would never do.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
If it was hot and I asked them to shovel shit, you best believe I'd be out there. I'd miss meetings to be out there to help my team.
Alongside with them.
And if anyone ever said, I can go pick up your lunch, I paid for their lunch too.
Nice.
I never, ever wanted to be that kind of a boss. Ever.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to take it as not everyone's me. And yes, there were moments when I was an asshole. That's sometimes you have to be that way.
Yeah.
But in this situation, it wasn't a business venture. I was there to take care of her.
Yeah.
And it became more of, I felt like a babysitter. My fault, because I care so much. That's my fault. I will take credit. I'll take responsibility. I would tell her, I knew when she was hungry. I knew just in the first 2 months, I'm like, oh God, she's snappy. She needs a Snickers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I knew. So there was a culmination of things that kind of led up to it, but I kept overlooking it. I was like, you know what? And part of it too, to be honest, was, well, if I quit now, am I going to get paid?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth. So did I stay there to get paid? Absolutely. Who wouldn't?
Right.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't
You
if
put
you were
in
in
all
my
that time,
situation?
yeah.
And then once I got into it, I was like, well, now I'm getting paid. I did feel a little bit more at ease, but then there was more things, and there was more things, and more things, and more things. And it's like, let's go pick up the dog and take the dog to the groomer. And then, of course, I have to pay to clean my car because there's dog hair all over it. And I probably should have asked her for more money. It's probably my fault, but I never wanted to nickel and dime her.
Right.
She was giving me extra money for gas every week, right? Which she's been doing since the beginning. But we used that gas.
Yeah.
We put thousands of miles on my car.
Wow.
I mean, I drove for Uber the other day just to kind of get back into it.
Yeah.
I drove 65 miles. That's it. That's all I made. I mean, that's all I drove, right? And I made $140.
Wow.
I drive per week almost 300. Maybe it's over. It's like 2 something. I'm probably embellishing,
Yeah.
but it's over 200. Okay. In addition to, there's errand day and there's this, there's that, and she goes to like 5 or 6 different places, and I get it. I wanted to be sympathetic and understand her position because, here you are, you can't see, and you need things. I get that.
Yeah.
But I guess in my mind, I would have enjoyed it more had she approached me differently. The way she approached me was I had to do it. And if I didn't do certain things, she made me feel guilty.
Interesting.
So she would say, well, my trainer's going to come help me, or my mom's going to help me.
Somebody else
or
is gonna come
someone
do it.
else is going to come help me. And then there'd be conversations. Everyone always asks, well, what about Danny? Why can't Danny do it? And I'm like, dude, I'm here. Like, I drive you back and forth. And maybe it was just an hour, but in that hour, it was walking the dog, helping feed the dog. It was, watering plants or whatever things that she had. And either way, to put a pin in all of that, there was a list of things that she wanted done that were on the table.
Every single day?
That not every single day. Some things were here and there. We did sort of most of them. We didn't do the dishes thing. She never really had dishes whenever I would look and see. But, we fed the dog. I would water the plants. And it wasn't like really hard stuff. It's basically, to tell you the truth, it was the stuff that I was supposed to be doing as a caretaker, caregiver.
Yeah.
But I was so busy doing the other things of driving her around town and, making sure she had, her hair color. And it was like, I feel like a personal assistant.
Yeah.
And personal assistants make a hell of a lot more
They
money
make a lot more money, right?
than what I'm making.
Right.
That's what she needs. She needs a person. She doesn't need a caretaker.
Yeah.
She's very capable of doing quite a few things. But then when she would add in, I don't make you do these things. That's why you do these things for me. It doesn't weigh properly.
It's also how you say it to somebody, too.
I'm sorry?
It's how you say it to somebody as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she approached me a little bit differently, but everything is just like, I was a therapist. I'm a medical doctor. I'm, giving advice about...
Weren't you supposed to, hourly, gut her for those things when you're a therapist? You had to negotiate that way.
And I know that sounds horrible now, and this is probably going to get back to her, but I'm not saying any names, and it is what it is, but I have to kind of speak this out in order for me to move on and feel okay.
Yeah.
Because it was not okay.
Yeah.
And I went in there every day with a positive, happy attitude. It was in the last month I was just like,
Done.
I can't do this anymore. It's always something. And that's the thing. It could never be perfect. It's always something.
Yeah.
She honestly has almost a perfect life in a good way. She has a good support system. People are willing to help her, but I don't think she knows how to ask properly. I think when she asks people, she expects it. I mean, even her best friend helped her move, and she was complaining about that. And it's like, these people took time out of their day to help you.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah. Some
Instead
gratitude.
of taking it as, well, I'm blind, everyone's supposed to be doing it for me. You're supposed to do this.
So she expects it.
I can't speak for her. That's how I perceived it. Remember? Perception equals reality and vice versa. The theory of conspiracy and the conspiracy of theories. And I don't want us to be a bitch session, but I will tell you the culmination of the end. It was good up until it wasn't good anymore. And I had a lot going on the past few weeks. I asked for a couple of Mondays off, and when it was brought up again, she was displeased by the time that I was taking off. I figured it, first of all, in my mind, I worked pretty much almost for free. Yes, I got back paid, but I still was dying for 6 months. Like, I sacrificed so much just to kind of make that happen because that's who I am as a person. I'm a solutions person.
Yeah.
I create solutions. I fix problems.
Yeah.
My fault. I nominated myself for that. It is what it is.
So if you need anybody dead, we call you.
Pretty much.
The cleaner.
I'm the cleaner.
The fixer.
Yeah, the
He's
fixer.
the fixer.
I'm the fixer, yes.
But I just want to bring up this one point. I think you touched on this in one of the previous episodes about she wouldn't give you insight to the previous caregiver taker. Right? And that
Yeah.
was
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like one of
That
the
is a-
first
That was
red
one of my first red
flags.
flags.
Yeah.
Because I was surprised that the girl didn't offer up hey, I'm leaving. My name is so and so. These are the ins and outs.
Tips
right?
that could help you.
Tips that could help you. There was none of that.
Yeah.
And when I touched on it, I didn't get any no, I didn't get a phone number. It was interesting.
No insight.
No insight. Now,
No pun intended.
who knows? Who knows why? Who knows where?
Yeah.
But as I began to become more exposed to her life, what she didn't realize was I can see everything.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't mean that as a joke. Oh my God, you're so bad. Let me rephrase that. I was privy to people's reactions when we would go places and she would speak to people and they would just look at her like, she was very, she's very demanding.
She wasn't demure.
She was not demure. And, listen, she's my client. I'm not going to go against her and say, you didn't really ask. That's not my job.
Yeah.
It's not my job to raise your child, right?
Correct.
My mom taught me that. My mom said to me, it's not your job to raise somebody else's child.
Sure.
But I'm still a kind, caring person. And I thought about it because I talked to my mom too, and I was like, I'm not a bad guy. Like, and she attacked my character, and I'm jumping ahead.
Who, your mom?
No, my mom.
No, the lady.
The lady.
No,
I'm sorry. No, it sounded like no.
Does she attack your character, or do you maybe not think about it and do it yourself because you feel like, well, am I a bad guy? So then you kind of go down the rabbit hole, because I do that to myself. So I can relate to
For
that.
a minute, I thought that I was the bad guy. And
Yeah.
then I really surveyed the situation, and I was like, no. And listen, I'm not asking for accolades. Not at all whatsoever.
Yeah. No.
And I know that it was a job, but a job is you get your schedule 2 weeks out.
Yep.
You have an in time and an out time.
Yep.
And it's a continuous shift. It's not a little in the morning, a little in the evening, and then she threw in my face everything that let me go back. Let me go back, because I'm really getting ahead, and I do that a lot, and I have to stop myself and remind myself there's more to the story.
That's progress.
Again, as I try to tell this respectfully,
You're having a hard time.
I am having a hard
Yeah,
time.
you
I'm
are.
having a hard time because, I don't want it to come off as I'm bitching. I want to come off as I'm going to educate you into the environment that I was introduced in.
Yeah, the
And
same way
that's-
you commented on our cousin's thing about Trump.
Yes.
You want to make sure people are understanding, get it, and then they go, I wouldn't deal with that either.
Correct.
Yeah.
And on the other end of it, I know her friends listen to the show, and they're going to be her friends forever. And what she thinks about me when this is all over and what her friends think about me is none of my business.
Yeah.
Right? But there's always three sides, and it's yours, theirs, and the truth.
And the truth, yeah.
Am I here to tell the truth? No, I'm here to tell my side of the story.
What you're entitled to.
Correct.
That's
And
your truth, yeah.
She's entitled to tell her side. Fine. I think my track record speaks for itself in terms of the jobs that I've held and the things that I've done. I'm a 3-time Emmy Award winner. I've worked in television for over 20 years, and I've led multiple people that have gone on to become amazing and creative things.
Correct. And I've met a couple of them. They're great people.
And so to kind of take a thorn to the paw with this one was a hard pill to swallow, because the reason why I stayed was because it was the same thing at the talk. It was, it's going to get better. I can fix it. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Maybe it's me. It's going to get better. And then when everything, which I'm going to detail, went down, I thought to myself, it's not going to get
It's
better.
not going to get better. That was
It's
my
not gonna get
That was
better.
my question I was going to ask you. Did you see any red flags that reminded you of the talk?
Oh,
But you just
absolutely.
answered that, yeah.
Absolutely. And,
Interesting.
and I found myself going back in that same cycle of, I'm just going to stay in it. And to fortify your point, you said it earlier. I thought you'd be there for 2 years or whatever. Am I good still? Am I
No,
good?
we're all good.
And you had said to me, I thought you'd be there for 2 years. And you know what, Angelo? I thought I would be too. I thought I would be there for a long time.
Yeah.
Until there were key moments. Just like at the talk, there were key moments that the universe revealed to me, and I should have left.
Right.
But I thought I could fix it. And I thought I could make it better. And I thought, oh, they're going to appreciate me at the talk. They're going to see. I'm going to prove them wrong. And I found myself falling into that same trap again.
Ooh.
Until a few things revealed themselves. And then I thought, I'm going to break the cycle.
Nice.
I'm going to break the cycle. I have to resign, per Darnella.
Well, you have to do it for you. At the end of the day, you have to learn from those mistakes that you've already made. Because if you don't, like you said, you're just going to end up in the same fucking position every time. And you're always going to feel like the bad guy. And then the whole purpose of the show was for you to understand that you weren't the bad guy.
Yeah.
That you just got caught up in that lifestyle. It happened. It took you to a place that I personally had never, ever seen you go to. And that was an interesting thing. And I wanted to hear about it because how did you go from that to that to that to there to this?
Yeah.
I'd never seen that.
Yeah. Well, that's my life. And so doing it like Danny. It all began to unravel in the past month. You know, I'd ask for some time off, one day here, one day there, maybe an afternoon, maybe a morning. I need oil changes. I have doctor's appointments. I have things I need to do too. And I feel like, you know, her erratic schedule, you know, it was she would give me the night before. I mean, I documented because I'm crazy in the head. You know that I am crazy when it comes to certain things like that. I documented. I even documented when I was late, right? And this past few weeks, I was becoming later and later. My heart was no longer in it because I just knew that it was not going to end well.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said before, yes, I am a good guy, but I'm also the villain in someone's story.
Oh, we all are, right?
Right? We all have,
yeah,
and I can't deny that. Am I the villain in her story? I'm not sure. I'll never know. I'll never know because, again, it's none of my business what people think of me.
Yeah.
I have to continue and stay strong, and I need to break the cycles that I'm so used to being in. And I did. So it began to unravel, as I said before, and, you know, I'd asked for some time off, and this was the beginning of it. The first time she had left her phone at home, and in not so many words, I feel like she blamed me for it.
Interesting.
Because she had said to me, I gave it to you last. And that was true. She did give it to me last. I was writing out a check. I was doing stuff for her, financial stuff. And we were in the office and we were setting up and she freaked out. She had like a breakdown. And I get it. People lose their phones and she depends upon her phone immensely. She can't see. So I completely understood all that. But she said to me, you have to go home and get it, which is I have to drive all the way back. But I have a schedule. Like, I had things to do also, too. And maybe it was selfish of me to say to her, but I have a life, too. I have a schedule. There's things that I need to do. Like, can I do it after I go swimming? Like, my health is important to me, and it sounds funny.
No,
but that's important to me, right?
Well, especially if you go with our cousin, right? So if you had said, "Oh, I'm going to go with my cousin," and then I have to now go. Like, everybody's schedule gets messed up now. You see what I'm saying? So now you have to cancel to go get a phone, which in reality, it's not that big of a deal. You could do it after, right? I mean, ideally.
Correct. But she does use her phone a lot for her clients. So then, you know, me and solution person, right? I was like, okay, well, can you make phone calls through Alexa? Of course, she was exasperated. She said, I don't know. And so she got very emotional. And of course, then I felt bad.
That's exhausting.
Exactly.
So she was an emotionally abusive kind of thing.
God,
like
the
that's
roller
how it was.
coaster of
The roller
emotions.
coaster, yeah.
But I get it. I mean, I want to side with her, but then I don't want to side with her. But it's draining. So I'm tired. It's only a few hours in the day, but I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine being there full time.
Yeah.
I would cry. I'd probably want to kill myself, which is, I'm not making fun of that.
Yeah.
But that's how far I think she would push me.
Wow.
She push, right? It's always push. It's never good enough. It's always more. And I'm thinking, okay, if I was making 6 figures, hell yeah, this is a good reason to stress about, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not. And the way she made it seem as if I'm getting paid in
Like you
gold
were.
coin.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting paid in gold coin. And I hate to equate it that way, but that's basically what it came down to.
But that's how it should be, right? Shouldn't you get paid for what you believe you should be paid for, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, of course, the state has all that to do with it.
Yes.
But I think her mistake was she got me so conditioned on the things I wasn't supposed to be doing, and everything was always an emergency. There's always an emergency. It's always, I got to get my dog, or I got to do this. I have a pharmacy appointment. I have to. It's always, It was never, hey, by the way, I just, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Can we go stop by? Sure, no problem. And I had told you since day one, and I said this in the show, I said to her, the answer will always be yes, as long as you give me a heads up.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Which I think is very fair.
That is fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's very fair, considering I never had a schedule. I never had hours. It wasn't until the past week where she actually gave me almost a 2-week schedule.
Wow.
But even then, there's always little hooks.
Little changes.
There's little changes. And she'd say, well, I'm still looking to book more people. So it's an accordion. Her times were accordion. So I really couldn't make extra money driving for Uber, because if I were to go out driving, I could drive for 2 hours and then I got to waste my gas coming back. Versus if I'm out for a set amount of time, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Right? And the same thing with the afternoon. 2 to 7 are the best hours to drive. And I found myself, picking her up, and then there was something that we had to do. Or picking her up, and then we had to do the dog, and the dog needed this. And I didn't mind it, but what I didn't realize was I was cheating myself. So going back to, I asked for the days off, we kind of got into it a little bit. And I thought, I don't really ask for a lot. I really don't. I don't nickel and dime her like I should. That's what the state says. And there were a couple of things that put me over the top. The very first one was I sent her a text message saying after the debate, I said, oh, I can't pick you up. I can do the morning. I can't do the afternoon. Her first response was, I have nobody else to help me. When you signed up for this, you knew these were my basic needs. And I literally got read the riot act, right? And I looked at it and I was like, you know what? Like, this show is important to me. Very important to me. And anybody in my life would know that, right? But she's so self-centered, she doesn't care. And listen, she may be blind. She could have one arm or one leg. Personality is personality.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
No matter what,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
How you treat people
It's how you
has
treat people.
nothing
Yep.
to do with what ailments you think you have or could have,
Yeah.
right? And I truly believe that.
So to have kept you happy, she could have easily said, you take care of what you need to. I'll Uber home and we'll reconnect tomorrow.
Perfect, right? I
Not
even
happening.
offered and said, if I can come after, right, I can help you walk the dog. Whatever. I offered those things,
Yeah.
right? Because, of course, I'll go above
You're
and
looking
beyond.
for the solution.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And there's always a solution. So we went back and forth, and I said to her, basically, and I should read it so that it's properly verbatim. I said, I never ask you for anything extra. Yes, I've had a few life events happen in the past few weeks. I had this going, I have this going. But I asked for Labor Day off, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did the show, we cooked dinner, we had a barbecue. It was fucking Labor Day. It's
And a fantastic barbecue, and thank you.
Thank you. And it was important for me to do that. My family's important. And I asked for that day off. She approved it. Fast forward to, I needed the Monday off coming up because of the concert, because I knew I'd be tired. I didn't want to give a half-ass job. I asked for it off. She said yes. This coming up Monday and Tuesday, I have a funeral to go to. And I'm helping them out because that's what I do. So she got upset with the fact that I've been asking for so much time off. Understandable. I get it. She depends on me. Yeah. I got that part. But then she said, well, her mom is also signed up. Her stepmom is signed up to also collect hours. It's like a whole weird system. I don't want to give away their secrets, but
You don't want to put them on spot.
the brother collects and the stepmom collects. It's a whole. They know
Scandalous. Just say
how to
scandalous.
exploit
Yeah,
the system.
it's scandalous.
Okay? At any rate, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
And she knew how to split her time up.
Yeah.
So, let me finish. And she said to me, my stepmom is going to collect for last Monday and then the Monday coming up, which is the funeral. And then in the last moment, she threw in, and this past Monday, which would have been the Labor Day. And I thought to myself, but you approved that. And it already passed. It already passed.
It was eating.
You
at her.
approved
It
it.
was eating at her.
And when she pulled that away, she showed me who she was.
Yeah.
If you're going to fuck with my money over something that you approved, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You're an
absolutely.
asshole. I'm sorry. I could see if it didn't happen yet, which was the case
Right.
for last week and this week coming up. But to go retroactive on something that you approved, you're an asshole.
Oh yeah.
So, of course, I'm quick. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, you know what? I'll just collect on my sick hours.
Yeah.
She was okay. Well, you do what you need to do. And that was the end of that, right?
Which doesn't make for a comfortable work environment,
No.
right? Like you're going to go to her house and be cheery and uplifting. And,
Well, I have been.
well, but it makes it harder.
Oh, absolutely.
It just makes it harder.
I hated it more.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Yeah.
hated it more.
Yeah.
In that moment, you showed me that you don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
This is all about you. And I get it. Yes, it's a job, right?
I would have loved to have had you as my caretaker, giver.
No, I'm more like Nurse Ratched. I'm like, cause Angelo, yeah. Throw him in the pool. Take a bath.
Take a bath. Yep.
Take a bath.
Letting my wheelchair
It's like,
go.
oh no, the dog
and
is
trap
dead.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, I put it in his lap.
I think if she played her cards right, you would have been a blast. Do you know what I mean? If she
I
really,
am a blast.
If she really just gotten to know you and accepted you and been a kind person, it could have been a totally different
Well,
experience.
I think that if her ego had not gotten in the way, we would not be having this conversation right now, and I would still be there.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Her ego got in the way, and it got the better of her, and I.
doesn't sound like a happy person.
No.
I just
No.
I mean I know that you
Yeah,
said otherwise, but
I don't want to.
you don't treat people like that though.
Fair. You don't treat people like that. And
Yeah.
I don't, but see, the thing is, I don't think she realizes it. And again, it's not my job to raise your child.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not my job.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the end for me. And then I knew it's time, like Mary Poppins, the wind has changed. It's time to blow somebody out. I mean, elsewhere. And so I, fast forward to, she sent me the schedule for election night. Originally, she was supposed to get off at 4:30. We talked in the whole perfect storm. Lou said, "Are we doing a debate show?" And I said, "Oh my God, I'm off at 4:30." Yes is the answer. She sends me multiple texts every single day. I look at them and I move on.
Yeah.
And then I go back because it's just so much, right?
Yeah.
Well, she changed the time. Shortly thereafter, she changed it from 4:30 to 6:30. What time did the debate start?
Was at
6
6
o'clock.
o'clock. Yeah.
So she wasn't watching the debate?
No.
we got good one, Angela.
Monday, I sent her and I said, when we reconnected, I said, oh shit, I can pick you up in the morning. I can't pick you up in the afternoon, evening, right? And then that's where she just kind of went crazy on me and said, I have nobody else. I depend on you. This is a job. And then, of course, I responded and said, well, a job has set hours. You know your schedule ahead of time, and it's a continuous shift. It's not this, a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening. It's an accordion thing, right? We kind of went back and forth, and then she threw some things in my face, and I realized that she was coming from an emotional place, and I wanted to hit her with facts. And so I responded, and I said, I never asked for anything extra. I do this, I do that. And I kind of went down like I was defending myself, and then I threw in there, I even watched her mom, right? And I helped her mom.
Supposed to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But I did it because I am a nice person and I am a gentleman. Okay? Her mom is 87, 88 years old, and I could be wrong,
Yeah.
right? Wonderful. I loved her mom.
She's
we
70
had
too.
so much fun, right? I had so much fun with the mother.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work. Got to put her in the car. She can't walk very well. I had the mom on one side. I had the blind lady on the other side. I told you the story before. We would go to restaurants and we would order, and I'm talking in Spanish to this one. This one's over here, and it's a lot. I think because my client couldn't see, she doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
She has no clue what I'm doing.
Right.
all she knows is there's not, I'm trying to think of a really good way to explain this, but like, you know, you put the diaper on a baby, you don't see, you got to wipe the butt, do this, do that. All of a sudden, just the diaper's on the baby, right?
Yeah.
And that's how my client treats everything. Like, she just is like, it's just do it. Just do it. Here, fix this. Here, fix this. Here, can you take this out? It's like, it's never, hey, would you happen to know how to do this? Oh my God.
Yeah.
On a quick side note, one day she's like, can you come and take the panel off of my dryer? I dropped something in the dryer lint area, and I need you to come take the panel off. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that.
You're not a technician.
I'm not a technician.
Yeah.
What would make you think? But that's how she is.
Yeah.
Can you fix this? Can you do this? Can you move this? Can you clean my rug? I cleaned a rug on my hands and knees, right?
Wow.
Again, I was like, all right, whatever, no big deal. She buys me lunch every now and then, but you know what? It doesn't. It
doesn't
for what I
wash.
did for her, if we're gonna weigh it, oh man, it's I'm through the roof and she's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were going back and forth. And then some other red flags came up. One in question, when I had asked for time off, she said, well, in the past, the other girl would ask her family members to pick me up.
That's
Why-
like you asking one of
Why
us
would-
to go and
why
do that.
why would I ask my family to pick you up?
Send your mom.
Right.
Please send your mom.
And then it gets better. Then I asked for some time off, and she said to me, okay, well, you can collect the week, but you have to give me the money.
What the?
Wow.
And to which I responded, well, that's not going to happen. Why would I collect money on something I got to pay taxes on? Well, because you're not going to be here. I have to pay somebody. I get paid by the state.
Yeah, that's not your money.
Who is she to
Manipulate
and
that
manipulate and
money.
fuck with people like
Yeah.
that? I will say this, and I'm going to admit it on this camera. I got paid 2 weeks, right? Because she went out of town. She told me to collect. I did. I got her approval. But in my mind, that went towards oil changes and tires.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that went towards maintenance of my car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $300 and some dollars. Like, that's nothing. That's fucking nothing. To spend all this time with her every week to do all the things that she needed, when really I would have been happy just fucking washing clothes and making meals. I love cooking.
Well, it could have been it could have been an entirely different experience if she wasn't the way she was.
Correct.
Or is.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so she shot back.
But that's pretty ballsy.
She shot back after going back and forth on text. She shot back and said, I never ask you to do the things you're supposed to do, which is washing my clothes, giving me a bath, which is true. She's not wrong. Cleaning my apartment. And I'm thinking, again, that's not menial to me. That's not beneath me.
Right.
But she thinks that way.
Right.
Right? My needs are basic. They're not. They're not basic. Basic is food, washing, cleaning. That's basic.
Yeah.
This is chauffeur to work, chauffeur back whenever you need it. In the beginning, there were days where she was like, oh, my client's canceled. Come pick me up. I'm busy doing stuff, you know? And in the beginning, I was like, okay, like a pendejo.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't do it. Again, I got desensitized to her emergencies because it's always an emergency.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always something that's never perfect. It's always something that pops up, right? And she doesn't take into consideration that I have a doctor's appointment. I potentially could have a life. Maybe I'm fucking. Maybe I'm, you know what I mean? Like, none of that ever goes into consideration.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would be like, well, I would kind of drop hints. Well, maybe your boyfriend will help you. She's like, no. Maybe
Oh,
your
she has a
brother.
boyfriend?
She's a boyfriend. She said, maybe your brother. She goes, no, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yet, when my when my battery died, the brother helped me. He called AAA. But he did it for me.
Yeah.
But I think he did it for me now looking back because he wanted to make sure that I would be okay to work for her.
Wow.
But I make that joke, but I don't know, right?
I think it's
now-
because nobody wanted to like help her. Wow.
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think people get burnt out on people like that.
she burnt me
Absolutely,
out.
yeah,
She burnt
absolutely.
me out.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
she
last
didn't
long.
realize that she was burning me out. And I told her, this is burning me out. This like accordion thing and back and forth, but it continued.
Yeah.
It continued. So going back to the text message, she said, these are my basic needs. And then came this was the nail in the coffin. She said, and let's be clear, you don't help me with my mother.
Oh my God.
I thought you were being a gentleman and kind by helping an old lady in and out of the car. And I was like,
I do more than that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
but and it was in that moment I stopped. And I realized there's nothing I could do. I could save her mom. I could save her from choking. I could save the dog and bring the dog back to life, right?
Wasn't going to be good enough.
It wasn't going to be good enough. It's never going to be good enough. But you know who is good enough? I'm good enough to say I've had enough. Mm-hmm. I am done, and I will move on.
Yep.
And that's it. So I said to her, well, you have two options. My last day can be this day, or my last day can be this day.
Whoa.
I didn't fight with her. I didn't go any further. When you attack my character and you tell me that I'm not a gentleman and that I'm not kind,
Or demure.
you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You're an asshole because I've been nothing but.
Yeah.
I've been nothing but.
Yep.
And I do say that with conviction. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
And so, do I need the money? Of course, absolutely. But I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be okay knowing that even if I drive the craziest of people in Uber or Lyft or whatever, I only have them for a brief moment and then they're gone forever.
Right. Right.
I don't have to go every single day and endure this anymore. My only comfort and highlight anymore of the day is walking the dog. I love that little dog.
Aww.
And maybe the positive out of this, maybe I'll get a dog also too.
Just take hers.
Right? She
ran
probably would let me.
Yeah.
She probably would let me.
Mugged. The dog was.
Yeah.
The Haitians took it.
Yeah, thank you. The Haitians took it. Poor, she's on a spit somewhere getting roasted. But you know.
So wait a minute. Are you still working for her, or did you take the last day already?
I am still in it.
So when
as of this show, I'm still in it.
When is your last day?
My last day will be the end of this month.
Oh, okay.
My last day will be the September 30th.
My next question is, how is it? Is it weird?
It's
no longer mindful.
It's actually not bad. She's being really nice, and I think in the back of my mind, she thought I was going to change my mind.
Got it.
And when I revisited the end date, she said to me, I would have liked to have had a month. Again.
Never good enough.
It's never good enough, right? You got 3 weeks in a day or a couple, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you have that pit in your stomach going in and being around her? Does it make you
Well,
anxious,
now that I
or
know that
you-
I'm going to be done the 30th, no.
Are you happy?
You
Is
don't
that
get
your
it.
flex? You're like,
Yeah. I feel comfortable. And I feel bad, though, like celebrating that I'm separating from someone because it was so awful. Like, I feel bad because I'm sure she's a nice person to someone, right?
are you sure?
I believe that everybody, but I also, and my mom reminded me, she goes, but you also believe that people can change.
Yeah.
And people don't change. Yeah. And she's right. I believed in my mind that this lady was going to change and she was going to actually value me for who I was. And that's what I wrote in my final thing. I said, after all this, it's clear now to see, that you threw this all in my face and then you took my money away from me, how much you really value me.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't. I'm just a fucking slave. I'm a slave until she uses and abuses me, sucks all the life out of me until the next person comes along.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And once I realized that, I realized break the cycle. You're done.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And walk away. And as a final nail in the coffin, again, it's never enough. In the conversation, when I asked about my final day, she says to me, well, I have someone in mind, but I'm going to have them tag along. Oh. And I said, I didn't get someone to train me.
Right.
You did this. You should start all over.
Yeah.
This isn't. So now I guess I must be good. I guess I must be good, right? But that goes back to using and abusing you.
Yeah.
She's using me again.
Yep.
She's abusing. She didn't ask me.
Right.
She didn't ask my permission.
Yep.
She didn't, and you don't get paid for training somebody,
Right.
okay? She didn't say, hey, listen, I know that you're leaving on the 30th. You know, would you be comfortable training someone? If you had approached me that way, I would have been like, well, I'm not really comfortable with it. You know, I mean, I don't know this person.
But you might be more
I'm
open.
going to be driving this person in my car. Who knows if we get in a car accident? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You're liable for all
I'm
that.
liable.
Yeah.
I'm liable if we're at Costco and a cart comes and runs her over. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're right.
One can hope.
Right. We're both liable at that point,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm going to be training her. I thought that was really shitty. That was her final way of saying "fuck you" to me.
Oh yeah.
That's her final way.
But think about it. She's also getting somebody to assist when they're not even getting paid.
Well, who knows what
Right,
deal she
what-
made
yeah,
with
yeah,
them?
yeah,
You know, she probably made some sort of deal
Right.
with all the money she saved off
But
of me.
we've talked about this before, all three of us, in different situations. I think what you realize is that now you're recognizing much more quickly how you're not going to compromise your value or let anybody devalue you.
It's your time. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because
So-
you realize that time is something
Valuable.
you're never gonna get back.
I'm never gonna get back all of the hours that I put in, even though, you know, you were allowed to collect a little bit more, a little bit there. You know, listen, we came pretty close to those hours. I didn't make much more money.
Yeah.
And when I sat down and did the math was not mathing
Yeah.
at all whatsoever.
But it's
you
your
know?
integrity as well.
Yeah, that was like, you know, I couldn't believe that she came at me like that.
Yeah.
I was really shocked.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you, whenever she's backed into a corner, you know, she's gonna kick, fight, and scream like
She's
a little
feral.
kid.
She's
feral,
a
yeah.
trumpet.
Yeah.
She's a trumpet.
No, she's not jumping. You know,
But I'm
and-
talking about, you know, you go for the jugular. You go low. It's the insults, the dig.
That's just an emotional
It's-
person.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a healthy.
And we're both emotional.
Yeah.
I'm very emotional also too. But in that moment, I could have also read her the riot act. But I thought, you know what? It's not going to change.
No, no.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to save my breath.
Yep.
I'm going to inhale and exhale. And when I'm done September 30th, I'm not looking back.
Do you think you're going to be able to last until the end of the month?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
Well,
gonna be
I mean,
soon.
who knows? She could turn into a really.
And if she does, then
say
that's on
bye-bye.
her.
Yeah.
But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that's what I said. I'm
Yep.
out the 30th, and
Yeah.
you know, I never got the permission to train somebody. But if she wants me to train someone, then I don't have a say in it,
Right.
right? Because I'm a slave. I'm nobody to her.
Yeah. That's too bad.
And
I'm sorry to hear it.
Yeah, I am sorry too. But
I'm just happy you are no longer in that situation. I'm glad that you saw it because I feel like we kind of saw it, but we couldn't say that because it's something you have to kind of come across on your own.
so I will say this. You know, I talk to my sisters a lot. I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people come to me for advice, right?
Yeah.
I've been through a lot, and I'm always the first person to say, you know, if it's a bad situation, you should get out, right? I know it's easier for me to say than for you to do. That's like my famous line, right? Because I understand. And I thought to myself, here is a situation where I need to shut the fuck up and take my own advice. And I took my own advice.
Yeah.
And was it a hard pill to swallow? Absolutely. Because going again, I'm that person that'll stay there because I think it's going to get better.
We want to fix it.
And I'm like Titanic. I'm playing the violin on the bow as the ship is sinking. Oh, we're going to get saved.
Yeah.
But it's not going to change.
Yeah.
The ship still sinks.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. She lost out. You know, I don't want to, I never wanted to position it that way, but we could have, you know, I could have gone on another couple of years doing it for her because it wasn't super terrible.
Yeah.
It just became to the point where it was just too, I felt like a slave.
Yeah.
I felt like a slave. It wasn't a caretaking job position. It was always, well, I don't make you do this, and that's why you do this.
Wow.
And there was always this underlying, I have to do it. She never asked me, even when they cleaned the rug, oh, I'm going to have you clean this rug. She never said, hey, could you help me out? You know, if you feel comfortable cleaning a rug for me, it was a big, huge area rug, right? When the dog threw up all over the rug, she's like, I can't see any of it. Okay, sure, I helped her, right? I get it. I get all of that. And like, I know it sounds funny now,
You
right?
should've
It does
just
sound funny.
left it and said, "Oh, I cleaned it."
Oh my God, that's terrible. And you know, I'm a good cleaner, right? I'm a
Yeah,
good cleaner.
yeah,
I cleaned
yeah,
that shit, it was gone.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's like, I would have. It's always nice to get somebody's permission.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I
Well, do you feel a sense of relief?
I do.
I mean, I know the
do.
30th isn't there.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, I had a conversation with my mom, and my mom said to me, "Really?" She goes, "Well, I'm happy for you," which I think is breaking my mom's cycle too, because my mom was kind of sort of alluding I should have stayed, but you need the money. And I kind of stood my ground, my mom, and I said, "You're right, Mom. I do need the money. But you know what? I'll always be able to make money."
Yeah.
My mom has helped me immensely. I can't even begin to tell you how the family members have helped me. And my mom has helped me. She paid me tires. She's definitely helped me. But I said to her, "Mom, I have to break the cycle."
Yeah.
You're right. I probably would be there 2 or 3 years. I have to break the cycle. And so if you're in a position like that, I'm happy to report to you that it does get better. Not that it was terrible. I wasn't getting beat every day, but there was an era of I was losing myself. And I think that when you start to feel that you're losing yourself is a time to reevaluate the things that you're doing and switch it up. The universe will give you signs, God, whatever you want to believe in. When you're not on the right path, things start to fall apart so that you can get on the right path. And that's where I'm at right now. So the right path is this show, and I need for you to like, follow, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
I need for you to like, follow, and subscribe. I'd like to thank Cousin Louie, our sound guy, and Cousin Angelo for allowing us to enter his home here of Montecito. On a somber note, I hope that everybody is having a great week. We have lots of challenges in our lives right now. And the hardest thing for all of us to do is to look in the mirror. And I hope that when you look in the mirror, you see something great. Because I do. And with that being said, always remember to do it like Daddy.
That's a good one. All right.